Yep, we're up.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. Hold that. Let's try that again. Good evening, everyone. Now they're on. On behalf of the Governing Board, I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. This meeting is open to the public for attendance both in person and through YouTube Live. It is Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. It's 6:30, and this is a regular meeting of the Governing Board of the Catalina Foothills School District. In a few minutes, I will read the rules of order for public comment at governing board meetings. If you wish to make a comment remotely, you should have signed up using the Google form that's available under the YouTube Live description. If you don't see the link to that form, you should refresh the live stream. If you're attending in person, please fill out the purple form, request to address the governing board. It looks like this. It's available on the table in the back of the room, and hand it to our board secretary, Ms. Sams. If there's a public hearing on the agenda and you wish to make a comment on that topic, you may sign up now or at any time prior to the opening of the public hearing. Item 1.2 on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're a student in the audience and you want to help lead the Pledge of Allegiance, I would love for you to come to the front of the room. Come on, you brave kids sitting in the first row. Very nice. Good job.
Perfect.
Come on up. And everyone, please rise and join us.
Oh, yes. Okay, that way, guys.
We're going to face the flag, which is this way. You ready to start? Face that way. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Thank you so much.
Great job.
Well done.
That was the best.
As they're making their way back to their seats, I will proceed to item 1.3, which is the rules of order for public comment at governing board meetings. The governing board welcomes public comments at its meetings by providing two opportunities for the public to address the board. If your topic of interest is not on the agenda, you may address the board during the public comments time slot near the beginning of the meeting. If the topic is on the agenda, you may speak just prior to the discussion of that agenda topic, and if there's a public hearing, the opportunity to speak will be reopened. Everyone wishing to make a public comment must submit the request to address the governing board form, which is required for our meeting minutes. If you're appearing remotely, that form is available below the YouTube link, and for those attending in person, the purple form is at the back of the room. Speakers will be called upon when it is your turn to address the board. For those attending remotely, please remember to activate your camera and microphone prior to speaking. Each speaker has 3 minutes to address the board. The sound of the buzzer indicates the end of your 3 minutes. In the event of a large number of speakers, the board may need to limit that time so that we can conduct the business on the agenda. By law, the board cannot discuss, consider, or vote on topics that are not on the agenda. This assures the community that they are aware of the topics that will be discussed this evening. If you wish to discuss a topic through written communication, board members' contact information can be found on the district website. We appreciate the community's attendance and comments at this meeting. Okay. Item 1.4 on our agenda is outstanding achievements. This is a topic that the board hears usually at often at every meeting, but always the first meeting of the month, as tonight is. And for our outstanding achievements, we turn to our superintendent, Dr. Denise Bartlett.
Thank you. I am pleased to highlight the following CFSD student and staff awards. And again, we have 7 pages, so I won't be reading all of the names, but all of the names will be published in the border tomorrow. Our first one is that we had our high school students travel to Washington, D.C. for the Model United Nations team, and they competed at a national level. We had 4 students who have won awards out of 3,000 students completing. The awards included Best Delegate, we had 2 Outstanding Delegates, and we had the Research Award. So they spent a week in DC with students from all over the world, including France, South Africa, Italy, and Taiwan. Our Model UN students represented our school at the highest level of diplomacy. The trip was chaperoned by the sponsor, Mr. Peter Maxwell, and the counselor, Ms. Kat Graham. So congratulations to our Model UN students. We also had, we're proud to celebrate that 5 members of the class of 2026 were named recipients of the University of Arizona's brand new President's Saguaro Scholars Award. It's one of the most selective merit scholarships, and the award recognizes outstanding Arizona resident first-year students for exceptional academic achievement and potential, encouraging the state's strongest scholars to pursue their university experience in state. So approximately 100 students statewide receive the honor annually, and each scholar will earn up to $60,000 over 4 years. So, yes. So, and having 5 recipients from one school is quite an accomplishment, so we're very proud of each of our Falcons for achieving that honor. We also have our Arizona All-State Band and Orchestra. So congratulations to 7 students who were selected to the Arizona All-State Band and Orchestra Winds. We have Grace Sau, Robert Ferber, Maddie Lister, Tommy Logue, Morelis Alvarez, William Liu, and Yash Chauhan. So those are all of our band and winds. We also had students who went to the music ensembles Shine at the area festivals. So congratulations to 3 Catalina Foothills School music ensembles on outstanding performances at recent Arizona festivals. Under the direction of Renee Shane Boyd, these results reflect the talent and hard work of our students and musicians. So we had an area jazz festival on February 24th at Ironwood Ridge High School, and our jazz band got superior rating. Also, on March 4th, the Symphonic Winds and the Wind Ensemble both earned superior with distinction, the highest rating possible, requiring every adjudicator to award the ensemble a superior. So those are the 3. We had our Symphonic Winds and our Wind Ensemble both get those highest honors, superior with distinction. Then our band also just returned from a trip to Ireland. They 120 of our Falcon Band members, they had to take 2 flights. They couldn't all get on one flight. They traveled to Ireland March 21st through the 30th for a performance tour that combined world-class music making with deep cultural immersion. So beyond performing, students explored the Cliffs of Moher, the Rock of Cashel, and the ancient monastic site of Glendalough. They also dove into Irish music traditions firsthand, learning Celia dances, hearing folk musicians of their own age, and attending a dinner show where they tried their hand at traditional Irish dance steps and learned to play the bowren, the iconic Irish drum. So one of the most memorable experiences was a performance exchange with the Mullingar Town Band. And in Ireland, the town band is made up of, they don't have high school bands, so it's the town band, and it's a range of ages who are in this band. So it's a community band that rather than through the schools. It's a group of musicians ranging from middle school through adult. And the 2 ensembles perform for each other at Kolaska Weir Mullingar, then shared lunch and conversation at the Mullingar Band Hall. The visit really left an impression with both sides. The town band shared on social media that the joint performance was a standout for their 2026 season, and one that they will remember for years to come. And they also called Falcon Band wow. Our students made an impression off stage too. We got an email from 2 sisters from Texas who were touring Ireland at the same time as the band, and they emailed to share how well behaved our students were and polite at their hotel. So they were staying at the hotel. Can you imagine being at the hotel with all those students? So we got an email from them congratulating our students. So it was a great trip. I know, Tom, your son had gone to it too, and he was one of the dancers, so. And finally, we have pages and pages of students who are winners at the SARCEF, which is the Southern Arizona Research, Science, and Engineering Fair. We had 44 projects receiving awards. We had 7 first place awards, 11 second place awards, 15 third place awards, 1 Pima Community College Foundation Scholarship Award, 1 Phi Beta Kappa Award of Excellence, 3 SARCEF Board Awards, 2 TEP Award of Excellence, 1 Regeneron Biomedical Science Award, 1 Mastermind Texas Instruments Engineering Excellence Second Place Award, 1 Texas Instruments Engineering Excellence Third Place Award, 1 Alex and Laura Schaus Award, 1 Energizer Award, 1 Excellence in Earth and Science Space Awards, 1 Arizona Hydrological Society Award, and 1 Tucson ASQ Quality Tools Award. So in the border, all of the winners will be listed by school, and all of our schools were represented, including our Valley View Early Learning Center. So that concludes our
Great. Wow.
outstanding achievements.
Thank you, Dr. Bartlett.
You're welcome.
Item 1.5 on the agenda, the moment most of you are waiting for. I'm guessing you're not here to listen to the budget discussion later on in the agenda. Item 1.5 is our Catalina Foothills School District Star Award. We are recognizing Ventana Vista Elementary School for their award as an A+ School of Excellence from the Arizona Educational Foundation. And to present this award, we turn to board member Jacqueline Duvally.
I'm gonna take a tip from Eileen and go both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm so glad to see so many people here tonight. I love it when we have the public at our meetings, and when we recognize our schools and our exceptional students, I love it even more. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. At our August CFSD all-staff meeting, Dr. Bartlett challenged us all to elevate the excellence. We all know Catalina Foothills is an exceptional public school district with all A-rated schools and a supportive community, as evidenced by how many people turned out tonight. Thus, the question for us all now becomes, what more can we do to build upon and further the excellence of our district? And 2 schools took up that challenge by pursuing the Arizona Educational Foundation's A+ School of Excellence Award. And tonight, we're here to recognize Ventana Vista. I'm sure we all know about the award, but for those who may be watching, a little bit about it. The Arizona Educational Foundation's mission is to celebrate public schools and shine a spotlight on the outstanding achievements of Arizona's teachers, students, and administrators. Awarded since 1983, it is the highest state-level honor an Arizona public school may receive. A+ schools consistently demonstrate the following: commitment to quality and opportunity for all students, high academic achievement, safe, learner-focused environments, innovative, teacher-led instruction, outstanding service to children, families, and their community, holistic care for students' social, academic, and intellectual needs, and responsiveness to the evolving educational landscape. As the only statewide school award program that identifies and recognizes schools for achieving overall excellence, A+ recognition goes beyond the usual test scores and letter grades, examining every aspect of a school's success. It celebrates the hard and rewarding work public schools do in educating all children that go through their doors. Dr. Dahlman let me know that this was truly a team effort, with many individuals contributing to the written application that was due on August 29th. This portion consisted of 47 written questions that she and staff members responded to via an in-depth narrative. From what I am told from various people, an immense amount of work went into the written application, and it paid off. The school was notified September 11th that its written application was successful, and the school was moving on to a site visit. A team of judges arrived on campus in December for a day and a half of vetting the school's programs and activities as described in the written application. Judges were greeted with a meet and greet and dove right into their work. Given that Ventana Vista is a Spanish immersion school, it was only right that a campus tour in both English and Spanish was given. And I understand we have several of the students here who led that tour. With multiple classroom visitations held over a day and a half, judges also met separately with both certified and classified staff, and perhaps most importantly, our students. Judges no doubt observed and learned about the rich array of programs and holistic education offered at Ventana Vista, where school culture is grounded in the Bobcat Code. Be safe, supportive, engaged, and flexible. You'll note that these traits are a reflection of the A+ school criteria qualities. The school's offerings reinforce its culture: Spanish immersion, robotics beginning in kindergarten, robust music and visual arts programs, and a wide array of after-school offerings, just to name a few. Judges also met with parents and community members as part of the site visit. We all know how fortunate we are in CFSD to have such high parental and community support that plays an important role in the success of our schools. This was an opportunity for the judges to see it as well. Per the site visit rubric, a minimum of 20 individuals met with the judges as part of the review process, and Dr. Dahman tells me all were more than willing and excited to participate. These are the people, the volunteers, the parents, who act as the school support system and reinforce its sense of community. They are instrumental in providing opportunities for students at the school and for community events that bring together families throughout the year, supporting individual growth via a leadership camp attended by 5th graders every fall, and FFO-supported events such as the Mileage Club and family events that unify the school community. I spoke with Emily Rubio recently, Ventana Vista FFO president. She reinforced to me more than a few times the immense amount of work the staff did on the written application that was successful in advancing the school to the site visit portion. Ms. Rubio also attended the parent and community member meeting with the judges. And reflecting on it, she said how gratifying it was to hear the pride and commitment people who attended have for the school, and the excitement and energy in the room when asked about the sense of school community. Talking with her reminded me of something I believe we all know: the support, trust, and commitment of our CFSD community to its schools, and is an integral part of our district's success. And speaking of that support, I think that it's a testament that so many people are here tonight that I was wondering, are we going to need more chairs? That's always a wonderful feeling. So thank you all for attending and for your commitment to Ventana Vista. After all the work and time put into the application process, Ventana Vista was notified February 17th that it was among 48 public schools statewide to receive the coveted A+ recognition, and the school will hold this designation until 2030. I love being a board member, and I will tell you point blank, the very best part of being a governing board member is celebrating our students, our schools, the district, and the people that lead to its success. I was so pleased to attend the recognition ceremony for Ventana Vista, where all students, staff, community members, my fellow board members, and district administration came together with award judges and representatives of the Arizona Educational Foundation to recognize the A+ award. With a rousing rendition of Party in the USA, performed by the school's choir, and a flurry of flags to cheer with. This is going in my memory box of board service. Ventana Vista received its A+ award banner. When you're visiting the campus, make sure to look for it. Congratulations again to Ventana Vista Elementary School, Principal Dr. Judy Dahman, and its students, dedicated staff, teachers, and family community. You are truly elevating the excellence of Catalina Foothills School District. So we have awards, because these can go in your shadow memory box. And I'm going to call up some names, and you're going to get an award and a pin, some flair. For those of you who might remember, I may be dating myself, all the flair we can wear. And if I say your name incorrectly, I am truly sorry. Principal Judy Dahlman. And before you go, do you want to say a few words? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was networking at a conference, and Dr. Bartlett happened to be at the conference, and I heard about this A+ and the Arizona Education Foundation, and I didn't immediately email staff. I waited until July, not knowing that the application was due in August, and then figuring out it was due in August. But these fine staff members that are here assisted in completing that application. And I was really pleased when I went in and looked, and they left 2 questions for me besides, and thank you, Mrs. Westover, for helping with data on those beginning questions. But there were 2 questions about leadership and administration that were applicable to me for me to fill out, and the rest was finished, and I just had to go through and look at them. So thank you, staff members, you're awesome. And thank you, students, for being tour guides and doing a fabulous job. I appreciate you all. And thank you, board members, for this recognition. We appreciate it. And thank you, community, parents, all of you. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much for being there for the site visit and for being here tonight. Thank you.
And now we have our teachers. Allison Basalia. Like, did I say that right? Crystal Dawkin. I'm doing my best. Amy Hawkins. Stephanie Lopez. Sandy Martinez. Denise Pena. Laura Perella. And we have staff as well. Avril Buick, is she here tonight? Okay. Erin UC Cooper, is she here tonight? Nope, let's give her a round of applause anyway. All right. Parents and community members, you guys are not off the hook. There's lots of papers up here. Sally Barlow. Christine Botkin. Karen Greer. Carla Heilman. David Johnston, I know he's not here, but he was recognized as a super volunteer not too long ago. Joel Kelman. Kitty Kelman. Myra Martinez. Myra? No, Myra, okay. Oh, Myra Martinez. Amy Morales-Baum. Joseph Owens. And a Jacqueline Peterson who spells her name the same way I spell mine. That's very rare for me to see. Monica Picard. Taylor Rasher. Did I say it right? I hope so. Emily Rubio. Guadalupe Ruiz. Ali Saavedra. No. Nita Shaw Jane. And Joanna Urbina. All right, students, we didn't forget you. Waverly Basalia. Jack Barlow. Ethan Dawkins. All suited up. Summer Menke. Thanks again to everyone for coming out here tonight. Again, the board loves it when we have community members attend. It makes it all worthwhile. Thank you so much. And I think we're going to get some, we're going to have to get like the wide
Everyone's
lane
gonna have to
one's picture.
scoot over to,
Flag.
we'll give you a few moments to take some photos of your own if you'd like. Oh, that's so nice.
It's a good picture.
It's a great picture.
Great photo.
Thank you all so much. While everyone is more than welcome to stay, we certainly understand, and we will give you a few moments if you'd like to move on to other things this evening.
So we are going to talk budget.
Yeah,
That's right.
we are going to talk budget. So,
Now you're gonna like turn those over.
This
to
is your warning.
Yeah.
Research you can have.
Thanks for coming.
Oh boy.
thank you. It just goes off. I mean, it'll go, it'll go dark. There's no code or anything. You just,
Okay.
just push it.
A lot of work for us. So thank you.
Breezy.
And those are the things I worry about. It's not just
Thank
read
you.
something.
It's an iPad.
Doesn't make it easier.
Sometimes it makes it worse.
I should by now. I should by now.
Search for place. She's like, no.
I set the standard.
Thank you, Jacqueline. That was so nice.
Very nice.
That's right. But she's gonna burn it. So I would have to do it from
I'm sure
scratch.
she has it written.
I came with all my stuff for you.
That was very nice.
Yeah, well done.
Very well.
Very well done. Thank you so much
have
for
the
doing that.
survivor's letter.
That was really lovely.
All right.
Give me 1 second to log back in with my very long password. Doesn't want to go back on. I think I can do this part anyway. Okay, so item 2.0 on our agenda is our public comment time. I don't see that anyone has signed up to speak remotely. We have one request to address the governing board in person, so I will call that person up to speak. I will check to see that anyone hasn't signed up in the meantime, and that's our public comment. So Samuel Rogers, you're welcome to come to the podium.
You can turn it like.
Oh yeah, sorry, you can turn toward us.
Okay. Right. Hello, my name is Sam Rogers. I'm a neuroradiologist here in town at Rad Limited. I'm with my wife, Sharon. And as you know, we've been advocating all year for approximately 50 children in our neighborhood to have safe walking access to a school bus. And my own children have to walk over a mile to get to the front of the neighborhood where the bus is, over an unsafe route. And it's been a pretty disappointing series of no's from the school district rather than, yeah, how can we make this work? For example, after many emails and 2 bus evaluations in the neighborhood, the administration claimed, quote, due diligence, quote, was done, but the answer was no. But a public records request ultimately proved that the 2 bus evaluations were in fact quite limited. A new HOA president suggested an easier route, and eventually, after me pestering, that route was evaluated. But a report was given with a no answer, and the report was contradictory. And I sent an email 3 weeks ago explaining some of those contradictions, and that email has gone unanswered. For example, the report claims that the exit at our security building is too narrow for buses to safely navigate, but the buses actually navigate that lane every single day for the gatehouse stop at the front of our neighborhood. If our HOA, if I'm going to convince them to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to revamp the roads and to improve the roads, I can't do it on a report that contradicts the district's own daily operations. The district claims indifference to my children's 1-mile walk to and from the bus stop, saying it's not their purview, but internal emails obtained through a public records request show that your staff were in fact privately concerned discussing and calculating these distances. The district also claims no liability for students on this walk, yet simultaneously exercises portal-to-portal disciplinary authority. For example, our son was disciplined by the school for an incident that occurred on the walk home from the bus stop. You can't claim a child is yours to discipline, but not yours to keep safe on a route that you officially deem hazardous. And yes, in this report, you did deem that route hazardous. I can't be the only one who thinks it's ironic that the Catalina Foothills School District refuses to budget for navigating the Catalina Foothills. The school does have the means to navigate the roads in my neighborhood. The common sense solution are small buses that are used in other school districts with mountainous terrain or dense cities. And these buses are already insured and priced for home to school transport by you guys and by your insurance carriers. Choosing not to use them is a budgetary decision. And what I'm asking for is a compromise. As we, the HOA, work to make these road improvements to allow the large buses to enter the neighborhood, I think it would prove good faith and collaborative spirit to use small buses in the meantime to accommodate children now as we collaborate together to make our children have an easy way to get to school. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments this evening. Oh, sure. That's very helpful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so Dr. Rogers was our one and only in-person public comment. There is nobody who signed up online, so I will close our public comment line. Item 3.1 through 3.9 on our agenda this evening is our consent agenda. Does any board member have an item that they would like to pull for further discussion?
Personnel memo? Can we pull the personnel memo?
You would like to pull the personnel memo? Okay.
If we could, to introduce our candidate.
Oh, great. That would be great. Okay, so we will pull, we have to find it. Item 3.5.
Yeah, and give me a minute, Amy. I think I might have had a note on one of these, and now I
Sure,
can't
no,
remember.
take your time. Go ahead, no problem.
Oh, wait, there it is.
We pulling?
3.7,
Okay. So,
which is the
high school fees.
high school athletic fees.
High school athletic fees. Okay, so except for items, we will pull item 3.5 and item 3.7. Aside from that, anyone, any other item? Okay, then I would take a motion on everything else.
All
Please.
right. I move that the governing board approve consent agenda items 3.1, the governing board March 17th, 2026 regular meeting minutes as presented, 3.2, the expense voucher memorandum as presented, 3.3, the field trip request memorandum as presented, 3.4, the fundraising request memorandum as presented. 3.6, the acceptance with gratitude of the gifts and donations memorandum as presented. 3.8, the School Facilities Division award to Concord General Contracting for the brick archway repair project at Orange Grove Middle School in the estimated amount of $28,031 as presented. And 3.9, the award of RFP 26-03-31 outsourced custodial services to ProCleaners LLC for a one-year contract effective from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027, funded through maintenance and operations, community schools, and the Civic Center for a total estimated amount of $1,988,346 for the first year, with the option to renew for 4 additional years as presented.
Thank you. There's been a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve agenda items 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.6, 3.8, and 3.9. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Personnel memo, Dr. Bartlett.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce Mr. Sam Rolfe. He is a candidate for our assistant principal at the high school. After a rigorous interview process, then he came back for some performance tasks, and then he interviewed with me individually. He was one of our top candidates. Mr. Rolfe has students in our district, and he's coming to now join us, and his wife is actually one of the booster presidents.
Oh,
So
wow.
they are very vested in the district.
Power couple.
Yes, power couple. And so we're very, Mr. Rolfe has been in education for 24 years, so he's going to bring that expertise to the Catalina Foothills School District. So we're very pleased to welcome Mr. Rolfe to our school district.
Whose name is on our personnel memo.
Yes, who is on the
Speak now
personnel.
or forever hold your peace, because we're going to vote in a second.
I greatly appreciate. Thank you very much. for
Welcome.
all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Bartlett. Is there a motion to approve item 3.5?
I move that the governing board approve the personnel memorandum as presented.
Second?
Thank you. Was that you, Eileen?
Yeah.
There's been a motion and a second to approve agenda item 3.5, the personnel memorandum. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Eileen, 3.7.
So 3.7 is the approval of high school fees, athletic fees, what have you, performing arts fees, the whole shebang. And, you know, anytime we're talking about fees, and some of them are a little bit high. I don't mean high in that they're extraordinary, but, you know, they need to cover expenses that are high as well. But I'd like to have a discussion and at least have you, have our administration folks talk about what we do for students who want to participate, but maybe the fee is cost prohibitive for them. And I was hoping you guys could speak to that.
Sure, whenever it's appropriate, if there's a need, there is, and we have it on as a footnote, that a fee reduction or a waiver will be provided in cases of need or economic hardship. So economic hardship is never going to be a reason for a student not to participate. We will accommodate that family. We will work with them, either waive the fee or work with them on a reduced fee. Mm-hmm.
And how is the family aware, or how would the student who may want to participate know who to contact?
Well, they would talk with their counselor, they would talk with the coach, they would talk with our athletic director, any of those people, or the principals.
And all those people would say, we got you covered.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can comment briefly to that, both from exposure with track and field and with band, that both the instructors and the boosters are very active in promoting that and saying, we don't ever want this to get in the way of your participation, so please let us know. So it's out there.
But
Students and parents both.
that's all.
Good question. Thank you.
Since you pulled it, I would also just like to note, I appreciated the detail where there were increases in fees, just the notes about those being cost justified. I think that's really important, that we're not ever looking to make money on these.
This is
truly,
not a profit center.
can
No,
we close
no,
the gap?
It's to cover the costs.
any other comments or questions about 3.7? May I have a motion?
Right, I move that the governing board approve the high school athletic fees, high school club fees, high school course fees, and grades 4 through 12 extracurricular performing arts fees for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving item 3.7, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you all. That moves us out of the consent agenda items and into new business. Item 4.1. So funny, actually. No, it's not. Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Item 4.1. I was going to say every item is on for action, but it's not. Item 4.1 is the approval of the second round of certified contracts for 26-27. This is an action item for this evening, and it is presented by Associate Superintendent Mindy Westover.
Good evening. So tonight I have the opportunity to present to you for your review the approval of the second round of contract offerings for our certified staff members. So this is the group that we did non-renew earlier in the year, if you'll remember. So many of them are now getting that contract offered to them. Additionally, you'll see the addenda that goes with those positions on our individuals who will be returning in longevity stipend or a master's stipend as well. And with that, I would take any questions about the positions, the contracts, or the list.
I know this is, part of this is the folks who, by virtue of one of those categories, means they're not in the initial round.
Yes.
Is this also then rounded out by, like, how close is this to where we are in terms of our understanding of current capacity and needs?
So there'll be around 3.
Right.
Is what you
No,
say.
what you'll see is, like, for example, our first round of contracts that you approved previous board meeting, they're due tomorrow. So anyone who did not sign, maybe resigned in the process, those positions you will see trickle in on the personnel memo. But yes, this will get us closer to that. Of course, you know, between now and August next year, we will have some fluctuation or movement. So you'll see those new hires come through in the personnel memo each month. But this is, this is what we have positions for and looking for. The majority of them, yeah.
I don't recall that we have a third round, like
No.
a big round. Now it's just every board meeting, the
no.
personnel memo will include hires between now and then our special board
You will
meeting in
see
July.
administrative contracts, classified exempt employees,
Oh, right.
and
Right,
and classified work agreements. So you're going to see a couple of those large ones, but in terms of certified folks and specifically our teaching staff, this is the last big one.
And getting these two issuances out is what's going to give us an idea of what we still need to be recruiting for, because this is
Yes.
generally how we're finding out people are not coming back next
Right.
year, or they are coming back next
15
year.
days from tomorrow.
Yes, right, and we'll
These.
have, I mean, you'll kind of know what that universe is
Yes.
and how many people we need to be out there looking for, so it's like,
Yes, I
Starting
mean,
gun.
obviously, some people let us know early.
Sure.
And so we are already hitting the ground, and you'll see on that personnel memo, we do have some new hires already.
Yes.
Including Mr. Roll. But we are making progress towards that, and I think we had 10 outstanding. We're still waiting for, which of a big batch, that's a small portion of them. So we had almost all of them returned with who we offered, so that's great.
That's great.
But in years past, tonight would have been the first round of contracts. So we were able
Right.
to get the first round out earlier this year than we have in the past due to working on the budget earlier, reconciling our budget, and just doing all of the things that we needed to do prior to that. So we're fortunate that we're on our second round of contracts this early.
we're a little ahead of the curve.
We are.
Well, and we
are.
had that extra
Oh,
board meeting, executive session
as well.
to deal with what's behind the contract, which I
Yes.
think was really helpful.
Very much so. We really appreciate being
Yeah.
able to offer our contracts.
We need to make
Or
that into
earlier.
the schedule every year, I
do.
think.
It's great.
Yeah, keeps us competitive with other districts.
Yeah, sure does.
And I'm sure that our teachers want to have the security as early as possible.
Yes.
So, terrific. Thank you. There's no other questions. I will take a motion.
I'll move. The governing board approve the professional staff contracts and addenda for the 2026-2027 school year as presented, and that they direct them to be issued to the staff members listed as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
And a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Items 4.2 and 4.3 are obviously separate motions, and we'll move on them separately, but they are related, and they are both on for action items this evening. And it pertains to a recommended change in really the way the school calendar has looked for decades. Item 4.2, again, Associate Superintendent Mindy Westover.
So in order to increase our instructional time for our kindergarten students, as well as provide opportunities for cross-school collaboration, we recommend revising the student calendar for the 26-27 school year. So the governing board did approve the calendar in November of last year in 2025, and two adjustments are proposed to improve instructional coherence, operational efficiency, and consistency for our students and families. So proposed change number 1 is that our elementary early release schedules, we wanted to do some alignment. So administration recommends consolidating elementary early release days to allow for increased collaboration across campuses and to eliminate Monday and Wednesday early releases. So for each of the elementary schools had a day, and so we are proposing combining so that 2 are on one day and 2 are on another day. So currently Canyon View's on Monday, Ventana's on Tuesday, Manzanita's on Wednesday, and Sunrise Drive's on Thursday. So every day, almost of the week, we have somebody doing an early release or an early out. So the proposal that we would like for you to consider for 26-27 is Canyon View and Manzanita to both go on Tuesday, which will allow those 2 schools to collaborate and work together during that time. And then Sunrise Drive and Ventana Vista, which are our 2 language immersion programs, to go on Thursday, which would allow them the opportunity to also collaborate and work together. This change aligns collaboration opportunities across sites and improves system-wide coordination. So, and then grading half days are adjusted to align with those early release days. So we're requesting that October 27th now be Canyon View and Manzanita's grading day in the fall. October 29th would be Sunrise Drive and Ventana Vistas. And then in the spring, February 9th would be for Canyon View and Manzanita, and February 11th would be for Sunrise Drive and Ventana. That's our first proposed change. Are there any questions on that one before I get to the second one?
Was this driven by a request from staff, teachers and staff?
Yes and yes. We received we actually had some information given from a parent to Dr. Bartlett about the schedule itself and the next portion of it, kindergarten. But it allowed us to start thinking about, can we do this and would this be feasible? And so the answer was yes, because our schools are asking for more opportunities to collaborate with one another.
They've been asking since about 2022.
Oh, wow.
And we were always never able to figure it out because of our community schools programming.
That's what I was going to
But
ask.
our community schools programming has worked it out, and so we worked closely with Travis Coulter, the director of community schools, and he was able to work with his team to determine that they would be able to provide programming for both schools on the same day. And of course, the other reason we've separated them the way we did is because bus service. So we have an east and a west on each day because the buses for the east and the buses for the west are different. So we couldn't have the both east side schools and both west side schools because of our bus service. We don't have enough buses to transport all of them at the same time.
And the change, it doesn't affect, the big, like,
No.
fall break, spring break. winter break, so the things that we try to do in advance to help families plan in advance, those are unaffected.
Correct.
I mean, I suppose maybe some parents work a schedule because they anticipate what the early release is gonna be, but
Monday was always a very difficult day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the first day of school was an
Yeah.
early dismissal.
oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
first day after a winter break is early
Early
dismissal.
dismissal,
It
yeah.
was very difficult timing, so
Yeah.
I know I lived it as the principal of Canyon View too. Monday was a very difficult day to have early dismissal, so I think it'll be a very positive change for that.
And did you purposefully avoid Wednesday because it's late start at the middle schools?
Correct.
Yes,
Okay,
buses as well.
okay,
So now we still have an early release or late start
Yeah.
every day of the week
right.
because we have our elementaries,
schools.
we have our middle schools, and then the high schools on
Yes.
Monday, Friday. So we still have it every day of the week,
Right.
but we don't have our elementaries doubling up with another
Yeah.
site.
Okay,
The pairings of the elementaries,
Yes.
sounds like that's primarily driven by transportation. I mean, I know with Ventana and Sunrise, you also have similar immersion
Right.
Yes.
interests, which helps with collaboration. Is there anything similar between Canyon View and Manzanita that's some kind of alignment for them, or is that just sort of
K-8
how it worked
elementaries.
out?
Right, I mean, they have very similar program offerings. Obviously, one is a larger site than the other, but they're both K-5 traditional programs.
Okay, thank you.
And then the other proposed change, so number 2 is the kindergarten early release schedule. So beginning in 26-27, all elementary schools will operate morning-only kinder programs, and this has not always been, but we're moving towards that. Currently, on early release days, kinder runs from 8 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Administration proposes maintaining a consistent kindergarten schedule on early release days from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. This change will actually increase instructional time by approximately 7.5 days annually for our young students, provide consistency for students and families, and support continuity in early learning routines. So this was really exciting. It was brought up by a parent, and we said, why are we doing this if we're all, all of our programs are running in the morning? And it's just something, again, we'd been doing for a long time and had served us well, but we believed that we can accomplish a little bit more with some more time in classrooms, and so we're
There's
excited
no
about that.
early release for kinders.
So there will be no early release for kinders. Their day will look the same whether or
8 to
not the
11.
rest of the school, 10 to 11 every day. So there are no other changes to the calendar that was approved in November. Administration recommends approving the revised 26-27 school year calendar as presented to support improved collaboration, increased instructional time for kindergarten students, and greater consistency for our families. Calendar changes will be communicated directly to our elementary families after your approval, so they may adjust their children's after-school care. The new calendar will be posted on the district website, and we'll make sure that that is communicated very thoroughly and probably in multiple different ways. Immediately.
Note on their
That way they know, yeah.
Start right away.
Right, yes, it would go home right away through, Parent Square, and also each of the sites would then also talk to their families about it, so they would be able to do that. But are there specific questions about the kindergarten program?
One thing, in addition to the early dismissal, they're also going to do, when they have half days, usually our half days go till 11:30. They're gonna stay through till 11:30. They're not gonna go
Kinders?
home at 11, yes.
Oh,
Kinders.
The kinders are gonna stay
Good.
through till 11:30.
Great.
So they will get another half hour on several of those days, so.
You said that a parent made this suggestion, so I want to commend our administration for, one, creating an environment where a parent feels they can ask questions, and also taking the time to really think about it and act on it. And I think it's great that we have such an open community that people are comfortable enough to ask these questions and not shy away from making improvements.
And, unfortunately, so many times it's, no, there's a lot of things that impact it. And this time we were able to make the adjustments, and it's exciting to be able, I think it's going to be great for our young students.
It's an opportunity for additional instructional time for our kindergartners.
It's really important.
It's really important.
Not getting full day.
Correct.
Correct.
So it
Best
was,
we can
yes, we were, I have thanked that parent many times for just bringing that to my attention because it made me really think about why are we doing it the way we're doing it.
And so is it fair to say that item 4.2 pertains to this coming school year, 26-27?
Yes.
Item 4.3, exact same thing, 27-28?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's take this one first. Would someone like to make a motion?
Before we do that,
Yeah.
just one more comment
Sorry,
on
I didn't
this.
mean to cut you off,
No, it's
sir.
fine, and the kindergarten thing just feels like a win for everyone, so I'm sure parents will welcome that. The elementary, I assume, is cost neutral in terms of shifting those, and the kindergarten early release presumably has some additional cost to it. Or no,
It will actually save us, so we won't be doing an afternoon run. So we won't have
Oh, yeah.
the run, the bus run.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
they will just get to take the bus with their,
So you added instructional time and saved money. Do more of that.
well, yes.
We'll try,
Nice. Okay, now I'm ready.
if you're ready. Whoever's ready, make a motion.
I-
4.2.
I move the governing board approve the revisions to the 2026-2027 school year calendar as presented.
Thank you. There's been a motion. Is there a second? Motion and a second as to item 4.2. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Does anyone need any additional discussion on 4.3?
Only makes sense to do it for 27, 28 calendar years. We just did it for 26, 27.
Yes. If it goes bad, then we might have a motion in front of us at some point, but
And easy to fix.
Yes.
Without changing start dates and end dates. And
yes.
Yeah, and everything would remain consistent, the
Yes.
Tuesdays and the Thursdays
of
and
course.
the time and all of that would remain consistent for those, both school years back to back. But we would need, this one isn't, this is actually not an approval, it is a preliminary
That's right. Thank you for
approval,
pointing that out.
Because we'll approve
Yes.
the full thing next year in
Yes.
November.
Thank you for pointing that out. Item 4.3, I shouldn't have been trying to rush through it.
No, it's
So
okay.
This is an approval of revisions to the preliminarily approved 27-28 school year calendar.
I do have to say that our administrators and their teachers are really excited to have a day that they can collaborate with another campus. We've just never had that. And so at least having two campuses being able to do that, they're very excited to be able to start doing that.
That's great.
So the middle schools are on two separate late.
No, they're both on
They're
Wednesdays.
both on Wednesday, but so they don't do the same thing.
Well,
with
we
their-
talked about that this
late
morning at our
start.
meeting, that they're going to start doing that,
Oh, that's great. So
bringing
then
their
we now
faculties
have
together.
6 schools able to
Yes.
collaborate with each other at similar grade levels.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Mhm. Well, because we know in our retention survey that collaboration is one of the
Yes.
reasons that people stay, because they really enjoy that collaboration and find it valuable.
I also think it's very important to build those bridges across our district is small.
I agree.
Yes.
But the more interaction we have among and across schools and our staff, the stronger our district is.
Agreed. Ready for a motion on this one?
Are we ready for a motion on this?
Yes.
We are.
I move the governing board approve the revisions to the preliminarily approved 2027-2028 school year calendar as presented.
Is there a second?
I will second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Ms. Westover. Thank you, Dr. Bartlett. Okay. Item 4.4 is a first reading. Consideration of revisions to policy BA, school board operational goals. Dr. Bartlett.
Thank you. So in our policy manual, we have several sections that are undergoing revisions, and section B is the one that we're talking about tonight. And it's school board operations, and it's been really reorganized to align similar policy content, but it maintains comprehensive information for effective board governance. So policy BA, school board operational goals, was the policy that had just really minor revisions made to the language. The changes improve the readability and clarity I think the first paragraph was revised to read, "The governing board is representative and responsible to the people of the district and should be aware of community opinions and attitudes and of identified district needs." And then the second paragraph was revised to read, "Therefore, the board supports short and long-range strategies that are responsive to district needs within its budgetary limitations."
Those were changes made by ASBO, right?
Yes,
Okay.
the Arizona School Board Associations were the are who recommend, or who we subscribe to for our policy services, and they have made those recommended changes. And it wasn't based on legislation, but it was just based on, you know,
Justifying their own existence.
just kidding, no.
Clean it up a little.
Yeah, cleaning it up and really making it more modern, I think. We have never looked at this policy since it was just had the board adopted date. So April 21st, after our next reading, if you approve it, that will be the new adoption date for this policy.
What is the original adoption date of the first policies of CFSD? Do we even know?
I do, it was before me, so I don't know.
Well, sometimes the policies say adopted at manual adoption.
Right.
Oh, then without a
Right.
date.
But when is
But it
that?
doesn't have.
But now what I'm asking is, when is
No,
that?
I
I don't know how, so
yeah.
how old this policy is, because I'm assuming this is one of those, adopted
is.
at manual.
It is.
Yeah. Interesting. It's as long as I can remember.
Yes, and you'll see this policy again. This is just the first reading, so if there's any recommended changes, we'll take those.
Have any comments about this policy?
It's pretty straightforward.
It is. Right, similarly, item 4.5 is consideration of revisions to policy BAA, Board Powers and Responsibilities.
Yes, so policy BBA is actually a revised policy that combines several other policies. So they've taken the information from BBAA, BBBB, BBBC, BBBE, and BEDC, and combine them all into this one policy because they really deal with the responsibilities of the governing board. So rather than having all of those separate policies, they've consolidated them. And then additionally, language referring to legislative, executive, and appraisal functions was replaced with a list of board responsibilities from ARS 15-341. So we can go through those responsibilities. And then the new sections added to the policy include the oath of office, familiarization with open meeting law, quorum and vacancies, just vacancies, and board member resignation. Then there's the new adoption date, as well as the legal references that were added, so combining all the legal references from all those combined policies. The Attorney General opinion and references to the Arizona Constitution articles have been added to the policy, and then a cross-reference to policy KI, visitors to school, was also added. So you can see the list of the responsibilities. It starts on A. I'm not going to read all of those to you, but these are the exact statute language for the responsibilities of board. Now, of course, the responsibilities of the board become delegated responsibilities to the superintendent. And then you, in turn, approve what we bring forward. So although it sounds like this gets into operations,
Yeah.
those responsibilities are delegated to the superintendent, and we, and I, and Mrs. Westover would do all of this work and then bring that recommendation back to the board. So although it's stated as a board responsibility, it's delegated to us.
Yeah, I don't remember approving school furniture, for example.
No, but we do. We purchase that furniture, and then if it
Yeah.
reaches a certain threshold,
Yes.
we would bring that
Yes.
to the governing board.
We also approve the budget.
We do.
Yes.
Governs
Right.
Correct.
the ability to purchase anything.
Correct.
So it does roll up. It is a little bit odd the way this
It is.
discusses it like this, and I don't know that it's necessary, but it's maybe something to think about, to explain in this policy exactly what you just said. Because you have members of the public listening to board meetings saying this is what board members are supposed to be doing, but we aren't doing this in any kind of board meeting.
Right.
So maybe there's some preliminary language that could preclude or precede this list that explains just that.
Sure. I think that makes sense.
Isn't there, I want to say there's a policy that talks about delegation. There is. That could either just be cross-referenced or just that language may be lifted as an introductory,
Maybe,
right?
yeah.
Because it says
Sure.
everything that the board can do can be delegated to the,
Right.
and it,
To the superintendent. You're right, I'll pull that policy in.
Preferably both, cross-referenced and included here, because I think if you,
So, 'cause
if
people
you,
don't, people aren't gonna follow the cross-reference, but I think it's good to do it.
right, but
Definitely.
no, I had the same concern because it is very explicit in what it is stating that the board is performing, and none of those things are things that we regularly or ever actually perform. You do it on our behalf.
Sure. And it's our legislature who probably doesn't understand the
yeah.
the roles and responsibility of our, because this is directly from statute. This is the language directly.
Oh, yeah, and I certainly understand that. I just think it behooves us to have a little bit more explanation for our constituency. And maybe even, weaving in the language that obviously the board is responsible for the overall budget that allows for any of this to happen.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's any prohibition on,
Adding language.
changing policies the way.
Oh, we change them all the time.
Yes, we do.
Is this sourced from ASPA?
This is.
Yes.
I wonder if this is if anyone else is going through this process right now and saying, wait, we need to tweak this to the point that they
Well-
would issue that, or no?
I will tell you,
Yeah.
most districts just
Adopt.
blanket adopt the policies from the SBA without,
We don't have to read these.
So,
most districts just blanket accept the policies from a policy advisory. We bring them individually.
Okay.
I just linked over to 15341, and the title of that section is General Powers and Duties, semicolon, Immunity, semicolon, Delegation. So I'm not going to read it right now, but that
Right.
statute might answer the question. It's just didn't make it
Into the
Into
policy.
into the policy.
It should. But again, the new sections you can see after the
Yeah.
policy, the oath of office,
Yeah.
the familiarization with open meeting law,
Which
vacancies,
is,
resignation.
now that we do,
Yes.
familiarize
Yes.
ourselves with
Sure, absolutely.
meeting laws.
It's nice to have it all kind of in one policy.
It is.
We're not searching for several. Again, this is a first reading, so we will bring this back to you on April 21st.
The only other point of clarification I had was section B, around books, publications, papers, etc. That is specific to curriculum and not, does not carry over to library.
That is true, that is
Yeah, I had
correct.
the same.
So I'll put that in there. It is curriculum materials, not library books. So we'll,
Just all we have to say is exclude from district curriculum any books, publications, etc. And this is, I meant to email this, but did not. Just up in the third paragraph, the word action at the beginning of the fourth line, it needs an I in it.
oh,
Any other questions about this policy?
I just had one other quick
Sure.
comment, and it's not really a question, but it's on the third page, I believe, bullet point B. Duties and obligations of an individual board member include to have a general knowledge of the educational aims and objectives of the system. And I just don't like the system.
Yeah.
I'd rather it see the district.
The district.
Or
Yeah.
the
A little
system, it
friendlier.
makes me think of. The system. I didn't have anything else besides those two small things.
My questions were.
I think that the individual board member section also is helpful to me as a reminder of some of the times when our job is to refer to the administration. So no, that's great.
Well, this is a first reading, so we will, it'll come back for potential action in 2 weeks. So if on another review, there's additional questions, bring them next time. Okay, thank you. For discussion and reports. Item 5.1 on our agenda is the 2027 maintenance and operation budget.
Yes, thank you.
Dr. Bartlett.
So now that we have done the major discussion about the budget, we're probably not going to deliver this to your residents any longer. We'll just put it in the board packet.
Yep, that's fine.
Because there's only going to be minor changes
Right.
now.
Okay.
And we'll just go over those minor changes because we did a pretty thorough review at our last meeting, going line by line to what we needed to do. So we updated the budget for the following things. On line 7, on the revenue page, line 7,
that
the
revenue.
DAA transfer, I'm sorry.
No, it's not you, it's
DAA
me.
transfer to M&O. We increased that by $5,159 due to expense modifications within our expenditure budget. So, on line 7, that DAA transfer, it's increased.
And again, this is our budget balancing figure.
Correct.
This is gonna go up and down this particular line item, depending on the minor changes that are happening
That
every 2
is
weeks.
correct. Yes, that's how we budget that's how we
We
balance
balance our budget.
with the DAA transfer, and so you're right, it will go up, and because we're adding expenditures in, then that needs to go up.
And it's always fun when we can take some expenditures out,
It
right?
sure is. And then line 8, the classroom site fund, it reflects an additional $18,115 because we had estimated that the classroom site fund was going to be funded at $880 per weighted student, but it's going to be $883 per weighted student. So it's going to get us about that $18,115 additional.
That's set now.
That's set
Not
now.
gonna change again. Okay.
Yes, so because we did the budget earlier, we normally get that figure. And so we would have it for this first budget. So we had our best guess, educated, of course, from Chuck Essex. But the final came out this past week. So we were able to increase that by $18,000. So then on the expenditure budget, line 1, under the 2027 additions column, it was updated to reflect the changes to the revenue budget. So you can see that there is some additions there. It's going to be that $1,214,000. It includes that, the $5,159. Then on line 11B, it shows 1,578 increase to the additions column. And this adjustment covers the rise in the annual premiums that we talked about for our life insurance for our employees. We got a 10% increase that we were not aware of at the time. So when we were creating the budget, so that's the addition that's going to cover. And then line 56D. This is the transition from school to work.
Yeah.
So we had to increase that line by $3,581, and it's just an increase for our contribution. It's just an increase to the cost of the program. It's not a significant increase, it's just their annual increase. But we only pay 42.6% of that. The state pays the rest. So that program costs much more than that, but this is our portion of that cost. And then on the classroom site fund report, which is after the budget, line 3A, reflects that $18,115 revenue increase that we talked about because of the additional $3 that we didn't account for per weighted student.
Everything else is the same as we looked at
Correct. Everything else is
a
the
couple
same.
weeks ago.
Okay, we need to panic.
No horrifying surprises.
No. And we had a nice surprise with additional money, so.
Yes.
That's always, it's better to be conservative and pleasantly surprised than
Absolutely.
bitterly disappointed.
Absolutely. We'll always take the additions.
Any other questions about this iteration of the budget? We'll see it again.
We will see it every time until we reprove it.
Yeah.
Until June, yes.
Until June.
Yay. Okay, thank you. Item 5.2 is our standing item to enable us to discuss any important Arizona legislative or governmental activity that's affecting our business. Just waiting.
It's been quiet.
I know.
We have not heard.
Waiting to see what we're gonna have to deal with.
I think Governor Hobbs is holding firm on some things. We'll see how that plays out.
Budget discussion over Prop 123 is kind of heated up a little bit
Yeah.
in the last week or so.
And that's really about the definition of teacher.
Yeah.
It's really about the definition of teacher. That's what that, Governor Hobbs wants a more broad definition, where the legislature wants it to be just classroom teachers. And we lived that
Yeah.
when we had the 20% by 2020 increase.
Right.
There was a very narrow
Definition.
definition, because the Auditor General is who defines them. And so we had to use our M&O money then
Have
to
everyone else keep up.
give everybody else those same raises. So it's really detrimental
Yeah.
to have that narrow definition of teacher.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the classroom spending, I think, is going
They
through
want it to be, like, they want a set number like 60% or something like that.
60%. And again, it's a very narrow definition of what classroom spending is. And so the Auditor General sets that as well. They don't want to include support services that it costs to educate children as well. They want to talk about just the classroom spending. But our report that's posted online, we spend more than 60% in the classroom. And Arizona
In their
has-
definition of classroom spending,
Yes,
and
yes.
our definition of it is even higher than
Yeah.
that.
So it's,
And we'll be reviewing that report, will we not? The Auditor General report? What's coming in 2 weeks?
it's the audit.
Oh, the audit.
The
Sorry.
audit
Okay,
report will be coming.
okay. Yeah, there was something. You budget hawks. Okay. Anything else on the happenings around us? Okay then. Agenda planning is me and Eileen.
We have not landed at 9:30 at the
9:30
district.
at MAC. We will be there. If there is nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Jacqueline Diwali. Eileen Jackson. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. We're adjourned. And our next